For 700 years, an ancient cult believed their leader, Lucien Voss, would one day return, not as a man, but as the demon king Astaroth Rex. When archaeologist Sarah Morgan discovers a sealed temple beneath a forgotten cathedral, she unknowingly breaks the final seal. That same night, the cult completes a forbidden resurrection ritual. The next morning, their leader walks again, but he is no longer human. Every legend begins with a lie. Every nightmare begins. The world believed the blood covenant had been destroyed. It hadn't. It was waiting. Long ago, a powerful cult worshipped an ancient force they called Astaroth Rex. They believed their leader, Lucien Voss, would one day return as something far beyond human. The final ritual was never completed. The cathedral collapsed. The cult vanished. Their prophecy was buried beneath stone and forgotten. Until now, Sarah Morgan, an investigative archaeologist, received an anonymous package. Inside, she found an ancient brass medallion, a faded map, and one sentence: "Do not let the seventh seal be broken." Ignoring the warning, Sarah traveled to Raven Hollow, a forgotten town where no one rang the cathedral bell after sunset. Waiting outside was Professor Ethan Cross. He had spent 20 years searching for the blood covenant, but he had never found the entrance. Until Sarah arrived. The brass medallion fit perfectly inside an ancient stone carving. A deep rumble echoed beneath their feet. The cathedral floor slowly opened, revealing a hidden staircase. Torchlight revealed walls covered with hundreds of names. Every name belonged to someone who had disappeared over 7 centuries. At the very end, one name had only just appeared: Sarah Morgan. The air grew colder. Somewhere, deep below, voices began chanting. Not loudly, softly, as though the mountain itself was praying. Sarah and Ethan entered the forgotten sanctuary. At its center stood a massive black stone coffin. 7 chains wrapped around it. Each chain carried an ancient seal. 6 were broken. Only 1 remained. Father Gabriel Ross arrived seconds later. His face turned pale. He whispered, "We're too late. The cult has already begun the final ceremony." Without warning, the final chain began to crack. Not from outside, from within. A deep heartbeat echoed through the chamber. Slow, heavy, ancient. The coffin lid moved. Only an inch. A crimson glow escaped. Then, a voice echoed through the darkness. "My covenant has been remembered." Far above, every person wearing the cult's ancient symbol opened their eyes at exactly the same moment. Across the world, the blood covenant had awakened. The crimson light grew brighter. The cathedral shook violently. The final chain snapped. Silence filled the chamber. The coffin opened completely. Inside, there was no body, only an ancient crown forged from black obsidian. Floating above it was a crimson crystal, still beating like a heart. Father Gabriel fell to one knee. The vessel is already chosen. They don't need a body. They only need a willing soul. Far above, inside the abandoned cathedral, hundreds of hooded figures entered silently. Each carried a black candle. No one spoke. Every face was hidden. At the altar stood Lucien Voss. He had vanished years ago, yet he had not aged a single day. He smiled.
The covenant never ended. It only waited. Lucien raised the obsidian crown. The crimson crystal merged with it. Ancient symbols covered the cathedral floor. Every candle burned with crimson flames. Sarah opened an ancient manuscript. Its final page revealed the forgotten prophecy. When the crown finds its king, the gate between worlds will open. Suddenly, the sky turned black. Lightning struck the cathedral tower. The stained glass windows shattered. A circle of crimson fire appeared above the altar. Lucien placed the crown upon his head. For one moment, nothing happened. Then, The cathedral fell silent. Even the wind stopped. Dark energy rose from beneath the earth. Lucien's robes transformed into ancient infernal armor. His skin became obsidian black. Molten cracks spread
across his body. Massive horns slowly emerged. Gigantic wings unfolded behind him. The Demon King had returned. Every cult member knelt. The cathedral echoed with one voice. Long live Astaroth Rex. Astaroth Rex looked toward Sarah. His burning eyes never blinked. He raised one clawed hand. The ancient cathedral walls began to crumble. A massive stone gate, hidden for centuries, slowly rose from beneath the sanctuary floor. Its surface was covered with thousands of glowing names. One name began to shine brighter than all the others. Sarah Morgan. The Demon King smiled, then spoke for the first time. Guardian opened the final gate. Behind Sarah, the ancient gate began to unlock by itself. The crimson light exploded through the chamber. The mountain shook violently. Dust fell from the ceiling. The final seal was gone. The coffin opened slowly. Inside, there was no body, only a black crown. Floating above it was a heart made of fire. It beat like it was alive. Father Gabriel looked terrified. The prophecy was wrong. We thought the demon would return. Inside the coffin, but the coffin was only a throne. Far above, the cathedral doors opened by themselves. Hundreds of hooded followers entered. Each one held a black candle. No one made a sound. Standing before the altar was Lucien Voss. He smiled as though he had expected this moment all along. He raised the obsidian crown. Every candle burned crimson. The floor filled with glowing symbols. The cathedral began to breathe. Sarah opened an ancient manuscript. Its final page revealed the forgotten warning. The crown does not create yet the king. It reveals who already belongs to darkness. Lucien placed the crown upon his head. The chamber fell silent. Even the flames stopped moving. For one heartbeat, the entire world stood still. Dark fire exploded around him. His skin became black volcanic stone. Molten lava spread through deep cracks. Gigantic horns burst upward. Enormous wings unfolded from his back. His eyes burned like living fire. The Demon King had awakened. Every cult member fell to their knees. Together they chanted, "The Blood Covenant has returned. The King walks again." Astaroth Rex looked directly at Sarah. Without speaking, he raised one claw. The ancient cathedral split apart. Beneath it, a colossal stone gate rose slowly from the earth. Thousands of glowing names covered its surface. One name burned brighter than every other. Sarah Morgan. The Demon King finally spoke. "Guardian, only your blood can open the last gate." The giant stone gate began to unlock by itself. From the darkness beyond, something even older started to move. The ancient gate continued to rise. Its stone was older than the cathedral, older than the mountain, older than history itself. Sarah looked closely at the gate. The glowing names began disappearing, one after another, until only one remained. Sarah Morgan. Father Gabriel opened an ancient scroll. Hidden between its pages was the final prophecy. The Guardian does not open the gate. The Guardian becomes the seal. The Demon King laughed, a deep, echoing sound. "You finally understand. I never wanted the gate. I wanted the Guardian." Suddenly, the gate opened. Not completely, only a narrow crack. Golden light poured outward. Not fire, not darkness, light. The cult members covered their eyes. Their ancient symbols began fading. Their black robes collapsed to the floor. For the first time in centuries, they remembered who they once were. Astaroth Rex spread his massive wings. The mountain shook. The sky darkened. He charged toward the gate, determined to cross. Sarah held the brass medallion. She pressed it against the center of the gate. The ancient symbol began glowing. A circle of golden light formed around the doorway. The gate began closing. Slowly, relentlessly, Astaroth Rex reached for the opening, but the light pulled him backward. His molten armor began cracking. His flaming horns grew dim. With one final roar, the Demon King vanished behind the closing gate. The cathedral fell silent. The storm ended. Only the morning sun remained. Weeks later, the ruins were sealed. No one was allowed to enter again. The Blood Covenant was declared nothing more than folklore. Most people believed the nightmare was over. One rainy evening, Professor Ethan Cross returned alone, hidden beneath a broken stone. He discovered a small obsidian fragment. It was warm, very warm. As he picked it up, a faint voice whispered, "Kings never die."